Imagine planting a tree every single morning for 40 years and knowing you'll never live long enough to sit in its shade. Most people struggle to stay consistent for 4 weeks, but one monk, an old man in a forgotten corner of Japan, kept a promise to himself for 4 decades. Without applause, without reward, without witnessing the final result. Today, I want to tell you his story and the lesson hidden beneath the roots of his forest. High in the misty mountains of Aomori, there lived an elderly monk named Jinsen. He wasn't famous, he wasn't powerful, he wasn't chasing goals, followers, or achievements, but he had one ritual. Every morning before the sun rose, he walked to a barren hillside carrying a small shovel and a single sapling. He dug a hole, placed the sapling inside, patted the soil gently, and whispered a short prayer. Then he walked back to the monastery. As if nothing extraordinary had happened, people in nearby villages laughed at him. "You're too old," they said. "The world is changing. Nobody has time for slow things anymore. You'll die before these trees become anything." Jinsen simply smiled, because he wasn't planting trees for himself. He was planting them for a world he would never see. What they didn't understand was this: the forest wasn't his goal. His goal was the discipline it took to create it. One winter, the hillside was hit by a brutal storm. Many of the young saplings snapped and died. When a group of villagers climbed the hill to see the damage, they found the monk standing quietly among the broken plants. Deeper in snow than a man his age should ever stand, they expected him to cry, or at least give up. Instead, he bent down, picked up another sapling, and planted it right next to the fallen ones. A villager shouted, "Why keep doing this? Don't you get tired of starting over?" The monk paused and gave the only answer he ever offered. "A tree is not grown when it reaches the sky. It is grown when I show up to plant it." And in that simple reply lies one of the greatest truths about discipline. We think discipline is a feeling, motivation, energy, inspiration. But real discipline is repetition without reward, consistency without applause, progress without visible results. Every tree Jinsen planted was an act of defiance against laziness, distraction, doubt, and the human desire for instant gratification. And ironically, those who mocked him were struggling with the same things we all struggle with today: breaking bad habits, staying focused, building confidence, being patient with slow progress, trusting the process even when nothing seems to be happening. The monk understood something most of us don't. The first step to a confident life is doing the things you promised yourself, even when nobody will ever know. When Jinsen passed away, he was 82. For decades, people assumed he had wasted his time. But years after his death, something incredible began to unfold. That once empty hillside became a thriving forest. Birds returned, streams formed, soil became rich again. Villagers who once doubted him now brought their children to walk under the canopy of trees. The forest didn't appear quickly. It didn't happen in dramatic bursts. It grew quietly, invisibly, slowly, just like our habits, our discipline, our confidence. The monk never lived to see the forest, but he didn't need to, because what he built inside himself was far greater. The ability to stay consistent, the courage to start again, the strength to delay gratification, the character to work without recognition, the peace that comes from knowing your actions matter, even if nobody sees them. The forest was just the proof. The discipline was the real achievement. So the next time you wake up and feel unmotivated, the next time progress feels invisible, the next time you think your small habits don't matter, remember the monk on the hillside and plant your tree anyway. Because you may not see the results today, but you're growing something inside you far more powerful.